Hey Team BSISU, it's Jill Lyon. I am the founder of Team Inspire. So for those of you who don't know me, Tiffany, I guess, is my grandmother coach. So my personally sponsored upline coach is Alicia Haley, and her coach is Tiffany. And Tiffany asked if I would just hop on today and share a little bit about how my team has been running challenge groups. We've been doing something that was a little bit different for me. For a long time, I ran groups by myself every month, but I guess it's probably back in the early summer that I started teaming up with another coach or two to run a challenge group. But now we are running groups as a team, and it's really amazing. It's been a game changer for my business, and I think it's helped some of my new coaches get started off, really get started strong. So I hope that y'all will maybe pick up some new ideas or ask some questions, whatever. I hope that you'll get a lot out of this. So really, I'm going to kind of talk about how we do it, and then I'll explain kind of the benefits of running groups together. So we try to look ahead a couple months and go ahead and schedule out when we're going to host our groups. And we also, I think we do this a little bit different than some other teams, but we provide an ongoing challenge group. So as long as you're one of our customers, you're welcome to join any of our challenge groups, and we have one every single month. So we like to have a week break between, 1 month and the next. So let's say that like our group for October is going to end on October 31st. Our new one won't start until November the 7th. So that gives everybody 7 days to kind of relax a little bit, maybe rest for a few days, have a couple treat meals before they get going hardcore again. And for us coaches, that gives us time to regroup, get our new customers all plugged in and set the new group up, and maybe even have a day or two where we get to rest a little bit and not have a group to tend to. So that really works well. Like I said, we try to plan ahead several months so that we all know what to expect and what's coming up. When it becomes time for the group, we each send our own invites. We reach out to our own customers, and I usually set the group up in the challenge app, but then we each invite our own participants. So whoever is our customer, we enter their email address and add them to the group. Once they're in the group, and sorry, I'm looking at my notes to make sure I don't forget anything. So once the group is up and running and we have everybody in there, we have a Google document that our awesome coach Erin creates every month. It's really easy. It's just a spreadsheet that we all have access to on our phones. And we have just a set schedule. So like every 5 days, I'm kind of like the coach in charge. And it really is amazing because you're not responsible for leading the group every single day. So like, I can't remember our exact schedule, but it might be like Erin on Monday, Laren on Tuesday, Lucy on Wednesday, Wendy on Thursday, me on Friday. And then it just goes over and over again all throughout the group. So that's been super helpful. I think another one of our kind of requirements is that we all engage with the group. So even if it's Wendy's day, to kind of have that morning post, to talk with the people, with our challengers throughout the day, we're all supporting and encouraging the women. So whenever somebody comments about their workout, there's 5 coaches, cheering her on and supporting her. And when somebody shares a struggle, there's 5 coaches who can address her question and give some tips. And when somebody shares a victory, there's 5 coaches along with a bunch of challengers, to cheer and support that woman. So it's really been amazing. In addition to kind of being like the head coach every 5 days, we all are responsible for checking in with our challengers, and we try to do it once a week. So we all reach out to them personally via text message, Facebook message, email, phone call, whatever. We like to check in with our customers and see how they're doing and see if there's anything that they need. And that's especially wonderful for people who aren't active in the group. It just gives them, that one-on-one attention that they might want if they're not comfortable sharing in the group. Hey, Tiff. So I kind of went over how we run the group, and I know that was super, super, broad overview of how we do it. So if y'all have any nitty gritty questions, please ask. Kind of the reasons why we enjoy doing this so much. Number one, I think it takes a huge burden off of me. Just from running my own challenge groups and having that responsibility every single day and every morning, either having a post already scheduled to go or having to come up with a post, first thing in the morning. Now I'm only responsible for that every 5 days since there's 5 of us coaching. So that's a huge, burden, I guess, lifted off my shoulders that we're carrying that together. Also, it just creates like a team feeling. It's so much more fun doing something and being a leader when you're leading with other people. So we have a group message that we're just kind of back and forth throughout the day, messaging each other and talking about, our life and what's going well in the group and what's not going well and what can we try, what can we do differently. It also gives us a lot more time to spend on our business doing business building activities. So a lot of times if you have, a semi-big group, it can be a lot of responsibility and there's a lot that has to go on behind the scenes. But if you're sharing that workload with other people, then you can spend time, building relationships and sending messages and doing some personal development and focusing on your own workout and transformation. So that's amazing. It's just kind of like the gift of time that we have to dive deeper into our businesses. I think it's a great way to help new coaches get started. So I know that when I was a new coach with Alicia back in 2015, the thought of hosting my own challenge group, it was so exciting and I couldn't wait to do it. But that was it was scary. I didn't know exactly what to do. I'd never run a challenge group or anything like that before. I didn't even really know how to set up a Facebook group. So I did it. I figured it out. But I think that having new coaches come on board and having them just add challengers to your group and help you run a challenge group is amazing. So I think that's a great way to help new coaches get started right. Another thing that's totally been awesome for me, I feel like I kind of got stuck in a rut, month after month after month hosting challenge groups. They all were kind of the same. I tried to change them up, but there's only so much that my brain can come up with. But with 5 coaches, we all have different ideas. We all have a different way of looking at things. So there's always some new ideas and new energy that we can pour into the group. And I learn a lot from the coaches that I'm hosting with. So that's been awesome for me. And I think it's great for them too. Another thing is when you all come together, with your challengers. So one person might have 4 challengers, another one might have 10, another one might have 20. It really doesn't matter. But when you come together, that makes a really big supportive group. And I feel like a lot of times, I feel like small groups are awesome because you can give, each person a lot of attention. And if you have 4 people in your challenge group, if somebody kind of falls off the radar. When you have a big challenge group, it might be a little bit harder to recognize those people, but there's a lot more interaction that goes on, a lot more energy in the group. So that's another great thing, is that when we all bring our challengers together, that makes a really big, strong, fun group. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I missed. I feel like there's something. I guess that's it. But really, I already talked about the team feeling, more time, more support, more ideas, less intimidating, more interaction for the big group. I guess that's it. If y'all have any questions, Tiff, if you have any, I'll be glad to answer them. And if not, if anybody's watching the recording, feel free to ask. I'd love to help y'all. I do think that hosting your own challenge group is amazing. And, there's a lot to be said from just one person pouring into her customers and sharing, what's worked for them. But if you want to join up with another coach on your team or with 5 coaches on your team, I think that's amazing too. Like Michelle said last night, we're better together. Oh, I'm glad you asked that. Okay, so since we've been doing it for a while, we kind of have a little set schedule of what we do. But in the Google document that Erin created that has she starts it off when we all have our assigned day, but then we sign up for whichever topic we're going to do. So like we have, and then that's a great way to look back and see what we did last month. And we can either do it again or we can change it up a little bit. So that's how we do that. So like if Erin says that on Wednesday she's going to do a water challenge, I know that on Tuesday I'm going to do something different. So that's a great question, Tiffin. I didn't think to explain that very much. Okay, y'all. Thanks for watching, and happy challenge groups. Bye.